Just kidding. We're playing around with Webflow forms. All right, so what is the first thing I'm gonna talk about? Hold on, gotta go to my notes. Okay, so there's two ways to get a form onto your page. The easiest way is going to layouts right here. So add elements panel, layouts, and you have your contact form. Drag that in. Cool, you're done. Publish your site. Go home. Do whatever. You're done. All right. There's that. Or if you want to further customize it as far as the layout goes, you can go to add elements panel and drag in a form block. And so a form block compared to a pre-built layout form is very baseline. It's like you get your form block, you get your field label, your text field. Yeah. So there's two ways to start on your form. Obviously, the pre-built layout way is much more better. All right. So we have this here, and as far as this pre-built layout goes, it has a section, a container, and then all this content that you can just double click and change. All right. As far as the layout goes for this, it's actually inside of a grid. And that's how you have these two columns. So you have first name, last name, email, phone number. And why does this message take up both columns? It's because it's spanning two columns. So with grid, you can do call spans. Okay. Column span 2. Or if I wanted to go 1, I can just drag that corner handle, and there you go. All right. And the cool thing about this pre-built layout is it saves so much time, especially when it comes to responsive, because if I go here, boom, it's already responsive. So let's preview. So yeah. All right. So there's that. Yeah. And also, if you have any questions during this tutorial, ask them in the live chat, and Colleen will jot it down for me, and I'll answer it after the tutorial. Or if you have a project that you're working on and you need help with it, share your read-only link. Okay? Share your read-only link or your finished website link, and I will review it or help you out with whatever you need help out with in your project. All right. So we have that contact form, and that's all done. And if you want to add more fields, like for example, if you want to add another field, you have a bunch of options right here. So another label, input, or even a select field. So if I drag a select field in here, there we go. Okay, so I have this select field here, and that select field, to edit the choices for that drop down, I would go on the element settings page or tab. Okay. So that's that. Now, there's still some people who do not know that you can play around with the styles of the placeholder. So what is a placeholder? So it's usually text that is inside of a text box, input text box, that you can overwrite. So for example, if I click on the cog, I can say type your first name here. Okay. And as you can see, it's like the opacity is kind of faint compared to this black. And so if I start typing, it goes away. If I delete it, then that placeholder comes back. But what if you want a different type of placeholder style? You can go to your text field and give it a class name. We're going to call it text input. Ooh, sorry. You call it text input. And then this drop down, because it's a form field, it has this new state called placeholder. So I can click on that, and then I get this green class. So it's a special class, special combo class. And then I can style this however I want. You know, like what if I want the text input to be red, you know, or faint red, something like this, you know, or make it big for some reason. I don't know why. And so if I start typing inside of it, it goes away. So the style of the placeholder will not be the same style as the type that is actually being added into the box. Okay, so placeholder. Really simple. All right. Let's see here. Hold on. Okay. Another thing you can do with your forms is you can have, so we have a drop down field, right? If someone wants to select a choice, they can. But then Webflow has this option right here where you can let people select multiple, right? So people can select multiple in that field. So if I click on one, that's the problem though. I can only click on one. The only way to click multiple, to choose multiple, is to hold Control or Command on your keyboard. But like that's such a bad user experience, you know? So how do we fix this? With custom code. Now don't worry, I'll break it down for you as simple as possible. I know that Webflow is a no-code tool, but there are times like this where low code can really help the user experience. All right, so what I'm going to use is this thing called select to. Okay, and select to is a way to, let me see here, let me get an example. Select to is a way for multi-select to make it look better. So for example, see we have a bunch of states, okay? And what if I want to choose multiple states? Okay, so let me just choose the first one. 1, 2. That's much better rather than having to hold Control. Or sorry, yeah, Control or Command. And then users can actually deselect or remove certain items. All right, so I will show you how to add this to your Webflow project right now. Okay, so we have our select field and we have allow multiple selection turned on. Now let's go to our select field and let's name it. Let's give it a name. We'll call it my select field. Okay. Oh, why does it do that? So my select field is the name of this. That's the name of this box. So what I'm going to do is go to select2.org and then copy this code right here. So I'm going to copy it, these 2 lines, and I'm going to paste it into my page's header tag. Okay, so in the custom code, I'm going to paste it in the header tag, save. So what does these 2 lines mean? It's basically bringing in their own custom CSS and the JavaScript, the magical JavaScript that'll make this happen. All right, so yeah, save. We're done with that part. And now, we're done with that. We're going to go basic usage and multi-select box. And right there, the last part right here. So this is saying when the web page is done loading, that's what this means. When the page is done loading, when the page is ready, do something. Okay, and so what is that something? That something is find a class name, find an element with this class name, and then do the magical JavaScripty stuff that makes this happen. There it is. So when the page is ready, do magical things to this element. So I'm going to copy this. Oops. Right. So I'm going to copy that piece of code, go back to my pages panel, and paste it at the end body tag. Oops. Yeah, paste it at the end body tag. And I need to wrap this with the word script. The reason why is because we need to tell the computer, hey, I have some JavaScript right here. And so the computer will be like, okay, cool. Tell me what that JavaScript is. Well, that JavaScript is when the page is ready, do something. And what is that something? Well, find a thing called mySelect field and do that beautiful, magical JavaScript stuff that someone already coded and I don't want to do. Cool. Save, publish, and you're done. Let's take a look. And it didn't work. Yay. Why? Select to is not a function. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Great stream, Nelson. Thanks. Oh, wait, did I? Well, no, that's right. I pull this in. Wait, my script is in there. Yeah, JS deliver. Select to is not a function. I did it on Pixel Geek website. What? All right. Fail stream. Let me go look on the Pixel Geek website. I'm pulling up the Pixel Geek community website right now. Hold on. Pixel Geek. Pixel-geek-community. Let me see here. Where did I do it on? I forget. Is it content submission? Is it this cat? Yeah, it's the tags. So I have tags. Oh, okay. So I put the JavaScript at the end. Okay. There's my problem. So this part right here that they told you to put in the head, it's supposed to be in the footer. So the CSS is the only thing that goes into the head tag. And then right here in the end body tag, that's where I would put that magical JavaScript. Hopefully this works. Yes, it did work. Okay, cool. So if I click here into this box, there we go. Now it's much easier. Much more easier and more friendly to the eyes. Okay, so what did we learn? We learned that you need to name your field, your multi-select field, name it something. Then take that code from select2.org and paste the CSS line, that CSS line right here in the head tag. You paste the JavaScript line right here in the end body tag, and then you own your own, then you add your own JavaScript, which is the, when the page is ready, find my select field, and then do the magical JavaScript stuff. And that's it. Publish your site, and you're good to go. Cool. All right, we got that one done. Let me go into chat and see what's going on. Whoa, that's a lot of people. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Kamel, watching all your videos and learning so much from you and the Webflow community. Thank you. I'm glad you're learning. That's the whole point. So, actually, that's half of the point. If you can do me a favor, please. Whatever you learn, pass that forward to someone else. Especially if you speak a language other than English. There's so much opportunity out there for Webflow tutorials to be created in different languages. So Kamel, if you speak something else, do it. Please pass that knowledge forward. All right, Sebastian. Hey, what's the best platform to pair up Webflow forms to get multiple responses sent to multiple email addresses? I'm actually going to go through that. The next step of this form customization, I'm going to go into how to connect this form with Zapier. So yeah, I will get into that. I have some questions about form integrations. What is the best way to link a Webflow form with HubSpot, Zapier, and Integromat, or just style the embed directly from HubSpot? Oh, cool. I'm going to be talking about Zapier, not HubSpot or Integromat, but maybe you can take these concepts to HubSpot and Integromat. Cool. So I guess I'll just move on. All right. So let's go into that next part. Zapier. So let me pull up Zapier real quick on my computer. Login. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that later. Hold on. Okay, so what do I need to do? Hold on, I'm thinking. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So, we're here with our form. And what we want to do is whenever...
My apologies.
What?
I don't understand.
Shh, quiet you. That was funny. So whenever someone submits this form, the form data by default gets saved into your Webflow project. Okay, it goes to the project settings, forms, and your forms are saved here in the form submission data. You can also have that form send that data over to any email address or multiple email addresses. As you can see here where it says a comma separated list of emails to send form submissions to. So you can just be like something at example.com, something else at example.com. So you can put as many email addresses as you want. The problem with this is no matter what form, if you have like multiple forms on your website, no matter which form that gets submitted, all of that data will go to all of these people. It doesn't matter which form. You can have a form for general contact. You can have a form for business inquiries or press inquiries. Like say you have 3 different forms on your site on 3 different pages. Once someone submits any of those forms, it goes to this same batch of people. You cannot reroute it. So yeah, you can't reroute this inside of Webflow natively. You can use Webflow with a Zapier integration, and that's what we're going to go through right now. If you're not familiar with Zapier, Zapier is the middle platform between 2 platforms. So from Webflow, you can send that data to Zapier, and then from Zapier, you can send it to almost anywhere. Like if you go to Explore and you just look at all the, there we go, over 2,000 apps that you can send your data to. Sheets, Gmail, Slack. I mean, it goes on and on. Even a SMS, you can send, like, if someone submits a form, send that data to Zapier and then have that data sent to your mom's phone as a text message. I don't know. Or to your own phone as a text message. Like, there's so many things you can do. Instapay. What's close? Trainerize? Huh. Yeah. Just so many things that you can send that data to. So Zapier is really cool. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So before you start using Zapier, you need to submit you need to submit fake data. So that way Zapier has something to work with. Right now you have an empty bucket. And so if you were to start Zapier is going to be like, okay, cool, where's the data? And then you're telling them, you know what? I have no data, but do something. It's like, and Zapier is going to be like, no. All right. So give Zapier fake data to work with. So first name, be like Sarah, last name Connor. All right. Email address from the future at example.com. Phone number 555-5555. Message, I'll be back. Cool. Submit. All right. Awesome. I submitted it. And if I go here to my forms settings in my project and press submit or refresh, scroll down. Yay, I have my data. Cool. Sarah Connor from the future. First there, I'll be back. Sweet. Wait, I have extra fields? I'll have to look in that later. Anyways, so we have our fake data. Now we can go to Zapier, and Zapier's free. It's a freemium, so you can create zaps right now for free. And I would strongly suggest learning Zapier because it'll such a great tool to have. All right, so I want to connect Webflow with an HTML. Oh, I want to do email. Let's see here. Email by Zapier. Okay. Okay, so now it's like, well, okay, what's the trigger? When this happens, okay, so when a new form submission happens, send an outbound email through Zapier. Okay, use Zap. Let that load. And so now Webflow is like, okay, cool. So which Webflow account do you want me to use? And I'm going to use the one. That's what I named it. And so now after you connect your account with Zapier, your Webflow account with Zapier, then you can search through your sites. So what's this one called? Nelson Stunning Project. So that's the name of it. So I need to find it. There we go. So I found the site that I'm working on. The form name, contact form, continue. Test trigger. And that part right there, when I clicked on test trigger, that's when Zapier is like, okay, cool. Let me look through this site right now and see if there's any form submissions that I can work with. If you don't do that, then Zapier again will say, I don't know what to work with. So this is the part that I'm talking about. Okay. So it has all my data that I just submitted. Cool. Now we can continue. So step 2, send an outbound email. So email by Zapier, send an outbound email, continue. That's what I want. And now we just connect the dots. We can send this data to someone at example.com. Okay. And the subject line will be whatever you want. And then this data right here in the body of the email, you start making up an email. Hello there. Here is the data from the contact form that was just submitted. Okay. And so now you can just put in whatever. Like, I want to put the name, the email of the person, and then the name of the the first name of the person, space, last name. And so you're just like making a template. Okay. And then also let's put in this field right here, which is the multi-select. And then lastly, let's put a phone number. Oh, and the message. There we go. So we have all of that. And so all of that information will get sent to someone at example.com. And you can just press continue and you can send a test. Test and continue. And then once that's done, you would turn it on. Okay. And there you go. So that's how to send, basically do the same thing that Webflow is doing right now, but through Zapier. But now we're going to add another form. Okay. So here's how we're going to do that. Let me go back to my designer. All right. And let me copy and paste this form. So I copy and paste this contact form, and let's call this business form. Okay. And so it has all the same fields, but the only thing that's different is if I go to the form block right here and I look at the form name, I want to change this to business form. Okay. Now that that's done, I'm going to publish, refresh my page, and now I have two forms. Let's go ahead and start typing something. Johnny Business. Email. I don't know. At example.com. Phone number. And then select fields. We'll just do third. And hey there for the message. I'm going to press submit. And there we go. My business form has been submitted. So I've made fake data. So what I can do with this exact Zap is I can go back, press back. Hold on, I have to name it, huh? Hold on. Okay, send outbound email. Okay, cool. I have to know the name of my Zap. Where's that? Send outbound. I have so many Zaps. There we go. So what I can do is I can just make a copy of this. Okay, so I made a copy. Wait, send. There we go. So I have two of them. Let me rename this. So this one we're gonna... I didn't want to do that. Sorry, I just wanted to rename. So I want to rename this to contact form. And then the copy, I'm going to rename this to business form. I'm going to go into this Zapier. And for the form submission, the first step, I'm going to set up the trigger. And see how I have the form name contact form? I'm going to change this to business form. Continue. Test the trigger. It found my new data. Then for this outbound, instead of this going to someone at example.com, this one needs to go to business inquiries. I don't know if I spelled that right. Whatever. At example.com. So as you can see, if I change the name of the form, let me show you where again. If I change the name of the form by clicking on form block and then going to the form name, I can tell Zapier, hey, based on this form, send it to this one person. If it's a completely different form, use a different Zap. Use a completely different Zap that'll send data to a completely different person. And so you can make as many forms as you want and have it routed to the right person. All right. So that's the three things: placeholder, styling your multi-select drop-down field, and connecting multiple Webflow forms, sending that data out through Zapier to different people. All right.